I've probably spent like 1,000 hours watching YouTube videos, maybe more in the past few years. And it got me like absolutely nothing because I was just um, watching Alex Hormozy, watching Charlie Morgan, watching maybe Sam Ovens old videos, like then Go, you know, all of these different YouTubers, different sources. And although it like expanded my knowledge like a bit, I wasn't seeing any results out of it. And the reason why that is because of the following. There is one rule that everyone should follow, like when it comes to learning something, and that is this. The one source rule. The one source rule. And then why is this so important? Well, because I was always like watching different sources. I was watching Alex Hormozy, Charlie Morgan, Sam Ovens, Dan Go, and all of these guys, although they said good things, you know, I was following multiple of their advices. But what you have to understand is all advice, it counters to zero, and all of it works, you know, because all of these guys, they are successful, they've made it work. But if you are trying to combine those advice, then you will never like see the results that they are trying to teach you, right? So this is super important because it is like you are trying to build a puzzle, and instead of like having one puzzle to pick the puzzle pieces from, you pick puzzle pieces from many different puzzles. But you will never be able to make a coherent puzzle for this. Like it just won't work. And so this is something that I've experienced myself, because the at first, like, I was combining a lot of different things, and it took me like 15 months to get my first client. And even when I got my first client, I was stuck at about like 1K per month from my online coaching business. But when I started to just follow one source, like one source only, that is when I got the greatest results. Now, it doesn't really matter like which one source you follow, because everything works, but you just need to stick to one thing for a long enough time. So this is how it basically works in business, because sometimes like my clients, they were facing this problem as well, because like when I help my clients, there is like coherent system basically that will allow them to build the fundamentals of their business and to get people from their connections, from their network, to transition them into leads, you know, without ruining their connections or their reputation. Then to have like kind of a funnel to convert them into paying clients, and then to deliver based on what you've discussed, basically on these other two things. So this is how it works. Like here's where the system starts, because business is like a system, right? There's this. Actually, let me use different colors. So you have like basically the acquisition, then you have the conversion, and then here you have the delivery, or the value delivery. And when you guide people through this funnel, through this system, right, they can just go from acquisition and turn the connections into leads, then convert them basically, and then deliver results for them based on what you've discussed in the acquisition and the conversion, based on their current situation, desired situation, and their biggest bottleneck, right? You make them a pitch, you make them a roadmap. That is what you basically are pitching in the conversion, and then what you will do is you will deliver based on the things that you've discussed here. So if you come out the other end, you will make money, right? But now what started to happen is some clients of mine, they were talking to other people, to people who were also in business, but of course they have a different system. And even though these people like might also crush it, maybe they might be at a similar level where I am at, or maybe they might be at level above even. But what starts to happen is, if you are, here is again the arrow. If you have the acquisition system that is basically like this, so you use one way to acquire leads, but you use a different way to convert leads, and another way to deliver for them, then what will come out of this is nothing, because it isn't a coherent system anymore. It isn't a coherent puzzle. So yeah, of course you get leads, but when you try to convert leads using another source, using another way that is not coherent anymore, then it doesn't work, and then when you try to deliver, even if this goes here, because business is like a system, and it works together, the acquisition, the conversion, and the value delivery. But if you try to change these different parts, just like when you're building a car, right? Because cars, they need an engine, but if you have an engine built for a specific type of car, with a specific type of, what is it? Yeah, for example, you have a different engine for a different type of car, then if it is made for that exact car, then it will work. But if you're going to take a different engine and put that into that car from a different car, then there is a big chance that it might not work. It might even blow up or something like that. So always important to remember to follow the one source rule. If you have somebody who is your business coach or your business mentor, or the one that is giving you the greatest value when it comes to business, only follow that rule. That is what I've did, and that is when I started seeing great results. Because if I'm going to follow their acquisition system, but then basically a conversion system for somebody else, then it doesn't work anymore. And if I basically ask for help about the conversion about these people, then it's they can't help you because you're using a different conversion mechanism. And this is basically true for everything. So it is fine to learn from different things, and what do I mean with that? Well, you learn basically from business, okay, from that big one source, but there are also other things, for example your health, and that is where you can also pick again one source and learn from that. So you can learn many different things, but when you are following one source from the business, just don't learn anything about business for that exact time frame. When you are done, basically, you can try new different things. But for the time being, yes. So only have one business source, only have one health source, maybe one mindfulness source. Because if you're going to take multiple of any of these, they will conflict and they won't make a coherent puzzle anymore. So I also have multiple people who are helping me. I have people helping me with basically the business side. I have also people helping me with the mindfulness side and like being able to maintain my focus, you know. And I have also, I read a lot of books about things like philosophy and history and things like that. All these things, they don't conflict because they are not talking about the same thing. So it works together like that. But when it comes to one different thing, when it comes to business, only follow one source, because that is how you will get the greatest results. So yeah, bye.